Picture this. You're at the chemist, grabbing your meds, and the price has tripled. Not because of inflation, not because of supply chains, but because our Prime Minister couldn't get a bloody meeting with the bloke who's about to slap a 200% tariff on Australia's lifeline drugs. Welcome to Anthony Albanese's Australia, where diplomacy is a selfie, dialogue is a daydream, and our economy's getting mugged while Albo's waving at the cameras. Buckle up, because this isn't just a bad day at the office. This is a full-blown national embarrassment. If you're as fed up as I am, smash that like button like it's the last affordable Panadol in the shop, and let's unpack this mess. Look, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. Australia's standing on the world stage is crumbling faster than a stale Tim Tam, and our Prime Minister's acting like he's auditioning for a feel-good sitcom. Anthony Albanese, Albo to his mates, elbow to the rest of us, has been ghosted harder than a bad Tinder date. Donald Trump, the guy who might just run the world's biggest economy again, isn't just ignoring him. He's practically put Australia on his economic hit list. A 200% tariff on Australian pharmaceuticals? That's not a policy proposal. It's a declaration of war on our wallets. We're talking about the drugs that keep our kids breathing, our grandparents moving, our mates sane. And what's Albo doing about it? Smirking at press conferences, muttering about regional stability, and pretending everything's fine while the U.S. sharpens the economic axe that lets set the scene. Trump's team is out there, loud and proud, saying Australia's been freeloading off American markets. Absolute nonsense. By the way, our trade with the U.S. is a two-way street, and we've been a loyal ally since forever. But here's the kicker. Trump doesn't push back on the narrative. He lets it fester, lets his base think we're some kind of economic parasite. And Albo? Silent. Not a single fiery presser, not a tweet, not even a strongly worded email. Nada. He's too busy posing for photo ops with Xi Jinping, who, by the way, has Chinese warships doing laps around our coastline like it's a bloody regatta. You can't make this up. We've got the U.S. threatening to tank our economy and China flexing military muscle, and our PM's response is to smile like he's at a mate's Barbie and hope it all blows over. Now, let's talk about the Port of Darwin, because this is where it gets spicy. Albo's out there preaching about bringing the port back under Australian control. Fair enough, it's a strategic asset, and we should have never leased it to a Chinese company in the first place. But when he's face-to-face with Xi, does he bring it up? Does he lay down the law? Nope. He says it wasn't raised. Mate, you're the Prime Minister of Australia, not a bloody diplomat's intern. If you're sitting across from the leader of a nation that's parking destroyers off our shores, you don't just sip tea and talk about the weather. You call it out. You say, "Oi, mate, your Navy's doing burnouts in our backyard. Care to explain?" But no, Albo's too busy playing nice, thinking a handshake and a vague promise of dialogue will keep the peace. And don't get me started on the timing. This whole disaster unfolds right as Biden's out the door and Trump's warming up for round two. The U.S. starts throwing shade, saying we're profiting unfairly, and Albo's caught flat-footed. No preemptive strike, no charm offensive, no emergency trip to D.C. to lock in a meeting. Instead, he's yammering about shared values and climate goals while Trump's team is drafting policies that could gut our exports. Pharmaceuticals are just the start. Wine, beef, dairy, you name it, it's on the chopping block. If these tariffs hit, it's not just companies that suffer. It's you and me, the regular Aussies who'll be paying through the nose for basics, while our farmers and small businesses get crushed. And where's the backup plan? We're stuck between a tariff war with the U.S. and a military stare-down with China, and Albo's acting like he's hosting a mindfulness retreat. Here's what really grinds my gears: the spin. Albo keeps banging on about how dialogue is the key, how Australia's a force for peace. Peace. Mate, we're being squeezed by two global heavyweights, and you're acting like a motivational speaker at a corporate offsite. When Trump says Australia needs to show loyalty, what's Albo's response? Does he stand up and say, "Hang on, we've had your back in every major conflict since World War II"? Does he remind the world that we're a reliable partner, not some freeloader? Nah. He dodges, grins, and pivots to talking about solar panels. Solar panels. We're staring down economic sanctions, and he's workshopping his TED Talk. And let's not kid ourselves. This isn't just a Trump problem. This is an Albo problem. He's had chance after chance to get in the room with the big players, and he keeps fumbling it. Ghosted at the Vatican, snubbed in Canada, ignored at summits. Mate, at this point, you're not even on the B list. You're the bloke standing outside the club, hoping the bouncer feels sorry for you. Diplomacy isn't about ego or looking cool in a selfie with she. It's about fighting for your country, making sure we don't get steamrolled by superpowers. But Albo's too busy playing Mr. Nice Guy, thinking a polite nod will stop China's warships or Trump's tariffs. Newsflash, mate. Nice guys finish last, and right now, Australia's eating everyone's dust. So, what's the fix? First, get on a plane to Washington. Yesterday, lock in a meeting with Trump, look him in the eye, and remind him that Australia's not just an ally. We're a bloody good one. Second, stop tiptoeing around China. Call out their military posturing, and don't let the port of Darwin become a bargaining chip.